it's AtreusMonk here, and today we are going to play some Kerbal Space Program in career mode. Now, so career mode, you start out with a very limited set of parts. In fact, when you start off, you're pretty much just given liquid fuel tank, liquid fuel rocket, and solid rocket booster, basic one Kerbal capsule, some parachutes, and maybe a little bit more. Let's pop right in here and see how this starts off. We're using this little target flag, and we're going to load up the game. Okay, so here in Kerbal Space Program, you have your space plane hangar. I'm not really going to mess with space planes because the physics is wonky enough for the rocket ships. It's really weird for planes because real planes aren't made of Lego parts. You can shift the weight around inside them by redesigning how they're structurally built. We got the astronaut complex over here where we can, recruit Kerbals. We would prefer a lot of courage and not a lot of stupidity, but sometimes you gotta just take what you got. This here is our tracking station, where once we have things that are out in orbit, we'll be able to look at what's going on. We'll be able to recover things that we don't have Kerbals at, which you'll probably see in a little bit. Anyway, let's go back to the Kerbal Space Center. We have our vehicle assembly building, which is where we'll be building things. The launch pad, where they will lift off from. And research and development, where we will be using the science points we gain to just do everything. Now, see, here we start off with basic Mark 1 command pod, basic liquid fuel engine. It's not gimbaled at all, so we can't vector the thrust and turn very well with it. Solid fuel booster, fuel tank, basic liquid fuel tank, a girder segment, which I don't think would really do us a lot of good, but I'm not sure. I haven't messed around with the game that much. A Mark 16 parachute and a basic antenna. Now, one thing I will say is that I have MechJeb installed for this, but MechJeb actually integrates itself into this tech tree, which you will see expand as we gain some science. Now, to start off with, we are totally going to exploit science. We aren't even going to launch a rocket. We're going to take this, and we're going to go out to the launch pad. And Jeb, well, he's going to help us out. So we're going to take a crew report, save that, and then we're going to do a little EVA. First of all, let's see. We have this EVA. Let's store our experiments here. Oh, nope, no, not what I wanted. EVA, let go. Okay, so now we're on the launch pad. Let's do another EVA report and take a surface sample of the launch pad. We're going to turn back around and we're going to store our experiments again. We can store one EVA report and one surface sample from each environment. So what we're going to do here, we're going to walk over here to this little patch of ground and go ahead and get another little EVA report. Oops, Jeb took a little tumble there. And another surface sample. And then we're going to turn right back around, walk up to our ship, get in, and recover the mission. I just want to say this is a little weird over here. I've got a little stream view that's, a few seconds behind me going on over here in another window, and it's just weird to see. Anyway, we're going to grab on, we're going to get in, and we're going to use the magical recover vessel button. We don't know how they recover it. It just kind of poofs in, and we have 29 science. So we go over to our little thing here, and we can unlock this first one. And now we kind of have a choice. We can unlock general rocketry, which gives us a gimbaled liquid fuel rocket. The Sepratron piece, which I think is a bigger deal when you're going out to other places, and a larger solid fuel booster. Stability, which would give us some small wings, radial decouplers, which are very important, and aerodynamic nose cones, which I don't think actually do that much overall. We can also get the LV909s, which is also a gimbaled, but very not much thrust. I hear landing struts and parachutes, radial mounted parachutes. Now when we unlocked this, we got a stack decoupler, a science experiment, which is something that we're going to be making great use of here, and a slightly larger basic liquid fuel tank. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this, research that, and now let's build ourselves a rocket that we can use to get some good science. First, stack a little parachute on here. Oh. I think I'm going to take a little fuel tank. Stick some struts here. See, we have this little symmetry tool. We're going to stick some landing struts on this guy. And we're also, around this center of mass here, we're going to stick ourselves some goo containers. Now these goo containers are going to be really, really important to us. We're also going to slap an antenna on here, but we don't need 4 of them. Just kind of need the 1. I don't think this actually has too much of an impact on drag, so, I'm going to do what we do there. Okay, so we've got that. I think I'm also going to slap a couple of radial mount parachutes on here, there. Let's move the antenna here. We can slap this other radial parachute right there. Okay. Now we've got that decoupler. Let's get normal little fuel tank there. Slap an LV909. Doesn't have a whole lot of specific immediate thrust, but it does actually have pretty good in vacuum thrust. Now, stick a stack decoupler on the bottom of that. And let's go ahead and grab a couple of big fuel tanks here. Okay, now we don't have any aerodynamic things. Unfortunately, we don't have much else we can do right now. So, let's see, make sure our staging's good here. Okay, yeah. This will almost certainly not get us into orbit, and I don't really care that much if we do. We didn't title our other thing, but then again, it wasn't really a rocket. So, let us call this the Kerbin 1. We'll go ahead and save that. Not that I expect us to ever really reuse that basic design again. Alright, we are going to turn SAS on. Not that it necessarily does a lot. Our crew report? No. Not worth taking a crew report from here. Not again, anyway. Go ahead and thrust up. And launch. Now, we're taking a crew report from here. Yes, and we're going to go ahead and transmit that because we're getting electric power back while this liquid fuel rocket burns. So, taking crew reports is very worthwhile right now. We also want to observe the goo in the first of our little goo tanks. Now if we get above 15K, we'll do another one. Right now we might wind up being lucky to get very far at all. Nope, there's almost no value from that right now. Now, normally I would turn out over the ocean here, but there's science to be done on Kerbin's land. So we are instead going to turn inland and hope we don't crash into a mountain range. Now without the control surfaces, we won't really have a whole lot of extra help in this. We've really kind of just got guy here. Now let's take a crew report. And nope, still not worthwhile. Let's observe our mystery goo. See, getting cold now because we're starting to leave the atmosphere. Now, what's our orbit look like at the moment? Great. Just great. There's like no angling to it at all. Probably because we're going against the rotation of Kerbin, but what can you do? Okay, see now we're arcing inland here. I'd like to get past this, either stop before this mountain range or after it. Because even with our little, landing gears here, it's not going to do us a whole lot of good. I don't think we're going to make it into the upper atmosphere this time around. Trying to make sure that we are over this mountain range. Or I kill thrust and let us start drifting down. Because I really don't want to overshoot things. Now, do we have... Oh, I don't want to deploy the chute. You have a good crew report here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and send that. And we don't have much power here right now. This is kind of another one of the reasons why I went down the path that gave us the chutes. That's also the path that leads us to batteries, which is going to be critical. Okay, so we've got one unobserved goo canister. I'm going to go ahead and turn the SAS off and try and... Whoa, 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 whoa. Point ourselves towards our retrograde here. Because we might actually want to burn just a little bit. Make sure we don't go out into the ocean. Now, going out into the ocean isn't the end of the world. Because we can actually do science in the ocean. But I'd like to do some of this other biome stuff on Kerbin. Now, no, we're not totally done with it, but I'm going to go ahead and ditch that and lower the landing gears. And I'm going to go ahead and deploy our first chute to start slowing us down some. Go ahead and deploy the other ones. Even this out. Now this is going to be a weird case because we don't have ladders yet. Yeah, ladders are kind of a deeper tech tree thing. I'm not really sure why. So once we land, which we will land, and we should land safely. See our nice little 3 parachute thing. Slowly landing down. Slowly coming down. I'm going to turn the SAS off because we are that's just draining battery and not doing us any good right now. Oh, we're going to go ahead and keep this crew report because it's flying over the grasslands. So see, this is another biome. This is Kerbin. This is Kerbin's grasslands. I almost want to let Jeb out on an EVA here, but I've had really a lot of trouble having to doing anything while there's a change in acceleration going on. I pretty much only do EVAs in space when we're not applying thrust anymore. And we landed. Woo! Now let's observe our little mystery goo. Hey, not a lot of science, but it's something. Now let's EVA Jeb. And he's just going to kind of fall down here. See, that's why I didn't want to do it. They just don't know. These little Kerbals, they just don't know how to hold on. So we're going to plant our little flag. Ah. That's right, Jeb. This land is our land. This is our grasslands. For science. Go ahead and take an EVA report. I like how he notes that, yeah, we didn't need to come here. And, yep, that is so definitely dirt. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to recover vessel, which is going to recover Jebediah. And see, he brings back 11.4 himself. Now you'll note that we got like, I don't know, 8 or 9 while we were in flight. And now we're going to go over here to our tracking station, and we're going to recover the ship. And that brought back 28.6, because you can see we've got crew reports, we've got the mystery goo, and we've got the recovery of a vessel that survived a flight. Now, exit this screen. We've got 50 something science now. We can unlock a few things. So 58 science. We can unlock this thing that gives us the science junior module, another antenna, and I think this is the only other antenna that's worth it, and our first battery pack. Or we can unlock flight control, which unlocks the first of the mech-jeb parts. Although I think at just flight control, it doesn't really give you that much. You have to get further into automation, get other things. It would also give us a small, I think that's one of the smaller wings, and a different cockpit, and the probe surface here. Now, the probes honestly aren't that great until you get down past this bit here, which is where there's an unlock after the batteries that gives you solar panels, and that gives you the ability to do a lot of things that you kind of need to be able to do. So for the time being, I think I'm actually going to unlock these other first tier parts. Especially this, because this will give me a radial decoupler, and I'll be able to make it into orbit with that and the wings, and this slightly better gimbaled liquid engine, and the big solid rocket boosters don't hurt either. Now the other things that you can get to from here are this general construction thing, which this is important because struts, another radial decoupler, and I think that has a slightly higher force, but it also holds things a little further away, and the stack tricoupler, which I like how it notes this is not a decoupler, it just couples things together. And then we have this, which is the beginning of some more of the Rockomax things. We have a really tall fuel tank, which honestly, the only reason you need the really tall fuel tanks in this game has a lot to do with the fact that their rockets seem to be held together by glue, not steel. And then this radial mount liquid engine, which I think I already mentioned. So we're going to go ahead, close this out. Let's go back and edit our little rocket here. Okay, so let's stick some radial decouplers on here. I wonder. Oh yeah, and let's trade that out for the 45 here. Unfortunately, I'm actually running this at 720p, so that the top of that is cut off for me too, not just you guys. They need to do something with how that actually handles that. Let's see, can we stick these guys on here? Yes, yes we can. And then let's see, let's stick some wings in here. That'll help us once we lose the large boosters. So I kind of need to move the large boosters down a little bit so that the rocket doesn't tilt over and explode on the launch pad. We're going to go ahead and make a separate stage for the liquid, for igniting our liquid fuel. And yeah, we'll just go with this again. See what happens. This is going to be the Kerbin 2. Again, we're not really going to shoot for going too much of anywhere in space. We're mostly going to let it go. We're gonna try to achieve an orbit, but we're not gonna try to go anywhere else. And right now, I am gonna go ahead and pause this stream, let it sync all my stuff together, generate a file, and I will be back in just a moment after I change some of my encoding.